yeah, Sonic Blast! Let's do it! Hello everybody, I'm Garrulous64, and are you sure you don't want this one today? Cause like, it's right here, we could do this one instead? Yeah, okay, it was worth a shot, I guess. Continuing our merry romp through Sonic's history, I've come across quite possibly the worst experience out of all of them so far. Sure, 8-bit Sonic 2 was frustrating, but it still had some glimpses of being a good game, peering through the layers of this evil lasagna Sonic Team and Aspect Co. had baked. Sonic Blast, on the other hand, is a frozen lasagna that's been sitting behind your local 7-Eleven for 3 days, totally unchecked, and then sold to an unsuspecting customer for full price. Look at this. I'd much rather be staring down the barrel of that rotting lasagna than this game. So for this one, they went the Donkey Kong Country route and opted for pre-rendered graphics. But hey, maybe an 8-bit console like the Master System can't handle that. I mean, look, I can practically see the thing having a panic attack trying to make this game work properly. This game came out in 1996, by the way, so it really could have been on the Genesis or something, but I mean, good ideas aren't welcome at Sega. We all know this by now. Of course, could have had something to do with Sonic 3D Blast already being on the Genesis, but I mean, maybe just leave it on the Game Gear like it was designed for. I don't know, I'm not your dad. So by now you're probably typing like a paragraph down in the comments about how I should have played the Game Gear version, but you know what, newsflash, I played both of them. And so far during this marathon, both versions have been pretty much the same aside from screen crunch. So imagine my horror when I went and played this one first, and that was my first experience with this game. Usually the biggest difference between the two versions is the screen size, yet here we have a special case. Apparently this game was originally created for the Game Gear, so every issue you see on the Master System version stems from the fact that it's totally unoptimized for the system. See, when the game looks like this, and I have to go check another playthrough on YouTube to make sure my copy isn't just glitching out really hard, it's pretty obvious that something's wrong. Conveniently though, on the Game Gear version, you wouldn't see any of this junk because the screen's a lot smaller, though that also comes with its own annoyances. Unlike the last few games, everything is huge in this one. It's probably because the sprites were a lot more high quality, but you know, if there's one way to make screen crunch a real problem, it's whatever they tried to do here. And that, dear viewer, is why I went for the Master System version first. I've been making nothing but mistakes since the day I was born. Sonic controls in this game. Not well, but you can definitely move him, that's for sure. This is the slowest and most gross he's ever felt to me, and I feel like I'm constantly on the moon with how his jumps work. Based on my very limited knowledge, this is the first Sonic game to give base form Sonic a double jump ability, and it does its job by helping you correct your jumps, but that's not really saying much because you have 10,000 years to change your trajectory once you hit that jump button. The sun is going to explode before Sonic touches the ground again. Knuckles is also in this game, but I didn't play as him for more than 2 minutes because I disliked the game enough as Sonic that I didn't really want to play the game in twice as bad mode. Moving to the Game Gear version, not only does the game look a ton better, but it also plays a ton better. Never play the Master System version. Just take a look at the super special sneak peek, both of them side by side, the differences should be obvious. Like, wow, how was this sold for money? I am exhausted. This game has sapped every ounce of energy from my body within 5 minutes of turning it on. So let's just get this over with. The first level is Green Hill! Surprise, surprise! Wow, Green Hill sure looking a lot like 3-week-old Vomit Hill. They must have known, right? Like, they must have known that this looks horrible. Sonic and Knuckles look alright, but my god, what a visual downgrade from everything that came before this. On my first playthrough, I struggled to run through loops and trashed some badniks, then flew through some tubes. Hey, I've got a great idea. Let's take every terrible gimmick from the last couple games and put them into this game. What do you think? In the past, I said 8-bit Sonic 1 almost felt like a slightly faster classic Mario game with its reliance on platforming as opposed to speed, but here it feels like a slower and worse version of that same phenomenon. Somewhere out there in the future, Sonic Lost World looks back on this game with a smile on its face, knowing that it's not the only one to be a subpar Mario ripoff. Now, I'm just gonna pick my brain real quick. Is there one nice thing I can say about this version? Well, yes, it has this nice goofy crab in Blue Marine Zone. I can get behind that. Stepping back over to the Game Gear side, however, one thing I can easily praise is, surprising enough, the special stages. Not the special stages themselves, mind you, they kinda suck, but more so the adventure to locate them. They opted this time to go for the Sonic 3 special stage entry, where you just need to find this plain donut before you're whisked away to Bland Land. Finding these was way more fun than actually participating in them, since every time I would go off the beaten path and look for them, actually explore, I was rewarded because you would make some precise jumps, like a curious little cat, and in fact, you would not be killed for your curiosity, but rewarded with color-coded gems. Every single one was fun to find, except Yellow Deserts. That one was just a crapshoot. The stages themselves, however, I feel like are some of the worst I've seen in this marathon so far. Sonic auto runs forwards, you need to collect 50 rings, and while this kind of weird 3D perspective is impressive for the Master System and Game Gear, I don't think I've ever experienced depth perception this frustratingly inaccurate in any game I've ever played. Again, even though the Game Gear one runs a bit better, I still feel like Sonic would pass right through rings when he clearly should have grabbed them. Even that glaring issue still doesn't make them difficult, though. They're what I would classify as easy peasy. Act 3 of Green Hill, meanwhile, brings us an Eggman fight, and by Eggman fight, I mean you fight the game to allow you to actually hit his hitbox. This will be a recurring theme. Hip hip hooray. Yellow Desert is next, and I see we're not being creative with the names this time around. That's fine, because it really reflects the amount of effort seen in the rest of the game. This stage has nothing in it. It hardly feels any different than the last, but I will admit that I really like the design of this boss. It's giving me some serious Dragon Ball vibes or something like that. Red Volcano probably should have been called Purple Volcano, but I digress. Seems a bit late to complain about that now. The platforming sections here are a huge step up from the previous stages, and they even have some fun gimmicks on display. I was afraid for a second that I was actually starting to enjoy this pile of junk, but then we reached the first point at which I almost stopped playing the game. The controls in this thing already make me wish I was slamming a door on my thumbs, but this boss fight makes them even worse, and Eggman teleports around like he's got instant transmission. And again, somehow his hitbox just kinda doesn't work, and half the hits I'm landing, they just don't do anything, and then I get hurt. Isn't that funny? I actually stopped recording here for a second to again check out another playthrough to see if I was just missing an obvious strategy, and no, it was just like, flail around and hope you hit him for like 15 minutes. Really cool. Really well designed boss. 20 out of 10. Wait, Blue Marine Zone, where have I heard that before? Oh no. Oh no, please. Please, no.
I don't feel so good.
20 minutes of my 40-minute playthrough of this game were spent in Blue Marine Zone. I have never wanted to tear my hair out more than I did when I was playing this stage. Because it's not enough that you move at half speed. It's not enough that you get thrown around all the time by invisible water cards. It's not enough that the game feels like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Online play. It also is a 2-stage underwater tube maze. How the hell did anyone look at this during production and say it was okay to put this in the game? Like, were they trying to meet a length quota or something? Like, is this the video game equivalent of putting a ton of varies in your school papers to reach a word limit? Like, at the very least, they give you more time to breathe underwater than the average game, but also, I just don't want to be here anymore. Please just let me go. And if that wasn't enough, the boss fight is what made me quit playing this version. Underwater, terrible hitbox, slow controls, no air bubbles. There are no air bubbles in this version of the fight. How on earth did they mess this up that bad? Like, this is a nuclear disaster of a stage. But you know, I mean, it is winnable. Yeah, at that point, I replayed the entire game on the Game Gear, and don't get me wrong, it is better, but the thing is, I think I was only easier on it because I went through that torture first. Sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear at this point in the video, but like, I really just don't see the good up until this point. Like, it's very boring, short, and forgettable. Like, I'm not sure where all the praise is coming from. The final stage is somewhat of an exception. I did finally enjoy myself a little bit at this point because the level design has some fun quirks and exciting gimmicks. Like these teleporters you need to power up by jumping on these platforms, and of course these spike walls that chase you to the end of a long stretch of room. The entire game's awkward enemy placement is still an issue in these sections, but heart-pounding and fun nonetheless. Ending off the experience, there's a really strong final boss that sort of replicates Breakout, except with just one giant egg to crack instead of a million little bricks. Sonic runs left or right to move this platform and reflect Eggman's lasers back at him, and I was pleasantly surprised to see this level of creativity from a game that was otherwise really dull. Even more than that, I put down my controller when I beat it, expecting the credits. I mean, surely this game of all games wouldn't have an extra fight for grabbing all the emeralds. But oh boy, it do! This thing was actually really tough. Like, they start you with 99 rings, and by the end of it, I hardly had any. I like to think I'm pretty fair when I make these videos, so I really gotta give credit where credit's due. This game has a really strong final act, in my opinion. Also, Eggman dies in the ending if you get all the emeralds, so this is canonically the final game in the Sonic timeline. So in conclusion, don't play the Master System version. Don't ever touch the Master System version unless you're gearing up to have specifically a horrible time. I don't really know why you would want to do that, but I mean, some people are masochists, who cares? And you know, I'm still kind of shocked that this was sold like this, but also at the same time, there are games that come out these days that aren't really finished either. So, I guess history is just repeating itself. With that, we're kissing the Master System and Game Gear goodbye, and it's kind of funny how all the 8-bit Sonic games and the 2D Boost Sonic games are all done now, like, sorta close together. Didn't plan it that way, but, you know, it was a happy coincidence. But next time, we're gonna be taking a look at something that you guys have been asking for a while, that being Sonic Pocket Adventure. Though, I mean, you know, I did lie to you just now because it is not actually next time, because next time we're jumping back to the modern stuff, and we're doing Sonic Lost World 3DS. More like Sonic Lost Cause, am I right, fellas? For all the awesome chads that made it to the end of this video, the video is over. If you made it this far, hey, let me know in the comments. I would love to see how many of you guys actually watch the end and get these special secret messages. Like, for instance, if you like this video and you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell, follow my Twitter, and join the Discord to keep up with more Sonic reviews and other things that aren't Sonic reviews, because I do a lot of things. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to my current supporters, who are Danny Dauber, Mike TGC, Common CJ, Chaotic Mercenary,
Dylan Plays, Cosmic Mushroom,
Crazy Sean DX, Raiden Still Plays, Chaosk, Ty Little Tech Guy, Jaded Indolent, Jeremy, Lucas the Tall Man, Mega Traffic Cone, Crystal, and everyone else who's supporting me in the $1 tiers. Thank you guys so much, even $1 helps a lot, and if you'd like to become a supporter yourself, please go ahead and click the join button beneath the video, or check out my Patreon at the card at the top of the video. You get cool exclusive stuff like bloopers, if there are any, but usually there are, and stuff in the Discord if you're able to join the Discord. But anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.